Testing. I forgot to reply to one comment that was asking me if I was sad. No, and so even now, like, I'm tired. It's been a long day. So I stopped to rest for my 10-hour, but I wanted to there's so many videos that I want to do during the day, but it's like I'm driving and I cannot touch that phone. I wanted to follow up with some things about working for Prime, even though I just started as a lease owner operator. I've been training with them since January, so basically I'm like 5 months in, and I've been able to observe lease owner operators because both my trainers were that. I don't know how company goes, but I know that if you want to make money as a lease owner operator, you cannot get out of that truck. Sorry, it's like got this pin in my hair. I keep looking at it. Don't get out of that truck. Stay consistent. So before I started with truck driving, I was a Uber and Lyft driver, a rideshare driver since 2018. However long that is. 8 years. Wow, 8 years. Dang. Time go by fast. Anyway, I worked long hours. That was just me. That's my work ethic. That's just who I am. So it was nothing for me to just come into truck driving and do the same thing. Don't stop that truck. People are like, oh, my check is in the negative. All that going home or taking long breaks and all that stuff. No, you will find yourself in the negative and you will be unhappy. Do not stop that truck. The other thing is there are lots of tips that you can use when it comes to saving money on some of your funds. For instance, with gas, you don't need to and people do talk about how slow our trucks are because we're governed at 65. Fine, right? Okay, but if you have your load and you know how much time you have and you have some hours to spare, you got to take your 30-minute break. You got to take a couple breaks for the bathroom or fuel or something, right? Plan it so that you can drive a slower speed. Save money on gas. You don't have to floor it at 65 if you don't want to. If you want, you could save a little bit of money per month by only driving about 55 miles an hour. And I know it sounds crazy, and I know a lot of people don't want to do it, but you also don't want to make more money. I said it. You got to be serious about being an owner-operator. You got to be serious about being an entrepreneur, especially if you're doing this through an LLC. Be business minded, but there are so many things. You have to really speak up about things when it comes to your first week. The first week they defer your truck payment. The reason why my check was so short was because no one told me that I have to speak to dispatch about the supplies that I purchased at the Prime store. At the Prime store, the clerk was like, oh, we'll just charge you $25 per week, and you don't have to pay the full amount for your supplies. Just $25 to your truck per week is all you need to pay. Child, that whole however many $100 I spent came out my check, because I was supposed to apparently let dispatch know that I needed that submitted to payroll. No one tells you these things. You have to be proactive. You have to ask questions. You have to speak. You got to open your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You gotta ask and see how they operate. Otherwise, you're going to be whining like everybody else, talking about my check was in the negative. No, you don't have to do that. Mine was nowhere near negative. My first check was nowhere near negative. I had pay from training on that week, and I also had a load, one load. I could have had more, but I didn't get a load until Monday, when I was really technically set up to receive a load on Friday. But I called late on Friday to tell them I was ready. And I don't regret it, because guess what? They worked my ass to the bone before I got to the terminal. I worked like nobody's business, honey. I barely made it to the terminal because I was the one driving there, and I had been driving overnights and things of that nature. And I think that time, and maybe even the day before, I did my full 11-hour shift. Like, it was nuts. It was nuts. But I'm like, hey, get there or bust, right? So I'm all about seriousness. I don't play when it comes to business and money. I do not play. I do not. It is not a joke. So, it was funny. I thought it was funny, the whole peanut butter jelly thing, because I was like, yeah, everybody's talking about their junk is in the negative. No, mine wasn't nothing like that. It was nothing like that. Not even close, not even a little bit. So the other thing is too, when I'm saying stay in your truck, I'm also admonishing you to accept loads. Speak with your dispatcher, communicate with them, let them know where you are, maybe why you left a little late, let them know your ETA. Communicate, let them know the things that are going on, and they will give you good loads. I have not gotten any like garbage loads, and I'm just starting. This is my first week technically still. So if you want good loads, then be about your business. And I was told that if you clear about $4,000, about $4,000 in your loads in 1 week, you'll see a nice check after your deductions, because there are lots of deductions. You got your truck payment, you've got your APU payment, you have like a tire fund, and like maintenance fund, things like that, right? They're deducting all this stuff, and then whatever else you may have accumulated, meals at the terminals, things like that, fuel, all those things are deducted. They do give you a fuel surcharge for each trip, so that's helpful. But if you clear $4,000 per week, y'all, it is not hard. It's not rocket science. Clear $4,000 per week. That means stay in the truck and drive, and you'll get loads over $1,000 paying. You'll get loads over $2 per mile paying. So I'm just not understanding, what people are talking about when they say that it's hard. It's what you make of it. And if you follow me on here, if you've been seeing what I talk about, I'm talking about always setting your own intentions. Don't go by everybody else's reality. You create your reality.